What's going on YouTube? Jill Vlogs here, back at it with another video. In today's video, I wanted to go ahead and talk about how Earth feels like a hell realm. A lot of religious people think that after we die, we either go of two places: up, which is heaven, eternal paradise, or down, which is hell, eternal damnation. This realm that we're in right now feels like eternal damnation. Look at the way our society is set up. These jobs don't offer a living wage anymore. People are running around in circles. They can't afford to pay their bills. We're putting our health at risk. We don't have time or energy to even enjoy our lives anymore. It feels like we're just like living in hell almost. A lot of people say that life is short. It doesn't always feel true though. A lot of us are out here doing things that we truly don't want to be doing with our lives. We wake up to go to our 9 to 5s, to our factory jobs, to our hotel jobs, our server jobs, our bartending jobs. It's like we wake up and we do things that, we dread doing, and it almost makes life feel like it's, eternal. And sometimes it almost puts you in a panic, feeling like this shit is just gonna go on forever and ever and ever. I'm 29 years old right now, and I can promise you that I feel like I've been on this earth for like 80 years. This feels like a soul trap almost. Sometimes I really ask myself, like, what did I do so bad in my past life to be deserving of a realm like this? It feels like all of us are just like inmates living in an open air prison, and we're all here just like doing time. Nobody is really having a good time here anymore. We're not really enjoying our lives. It's almost like this earth is a prison planet almost. We're working so hard and we're not getting the same results as the previous generations did. People are having to work like 2 to 3 jobs and they're still unable to get by. There's an increase in people that are having to take out personal loans in order to pay their bills because the paycheck that they're making at their jobs isn't enough to get by anymore. There's people having to, go into credit card debt. People are, overdrafting bank accounts too. And it's almost like we use burnout and exhaustion and barely scraping by as it's some type of a badge of honor. And then as soon as you call it out, as soon as you don't want to do this anymore, as soon as you've pushed through the burnout for so long to the point where you're chronically ill or mentally ill, people always like to call you crazy, people like to call you lazy, any name under the book. Whenever you go outside, it's almost like you instantly see that we live on a very beautiful planet. We could have made this world a paradise. It's really sad how humans decided to use their free will to make our society a literal hell realm. People are out here struggling more than ever before. We're working ourselves to death. There's more and more young people in their late 20s to early 30s who are having strokes and heart attacks and are going into cardiac arrest because it's too much. It gets to a point where you can do it until you can't do it. And I personally don't see myself doing this until the age of 65. I don't think I have it in me. I'm in a position right now where I'm trying to break my chains of slavery and do what I can to get the fuck out of this so that way I can have a better future in line for myself. This capitalistic system that we're all in against our will clearly isn't working for Gen Zs and millennials anymore. These jobs don't match this inflation. They don't pay a livable wage. A lot of these employers only offer $12 to $15 an hour when you can't even find a one-bedroom apartment in most areas here in America without having to pay $1,500 a month. A lot of landlords require first month's rent and a security deposit up front, and they expect you to make 3 times the rent. So realistically, this isn't sustainable, and it almost feels like working a job is just a waste of time. It's really sad how a lot of people out here are so brainwashed and so indoctrinated to believe that this is the only way to live. because this is what we've been taught ever since we were in school. Times are very different now than they were back when the boomers and the Gen X's were the age that we are. You could support a family of 4 on one income. They were able to afford life and they didn't have to work as much. They were able to buy houses, they were able to get pensions, they were able to afford groceries. They had more time, they had more energy to go out, see a friend on their days off, and have a little bit left over to have some fun. It feels like my entire generation has been lied to. It feels like we've been failed. It feels like we live in a day and age now where we have to figure out other ways to monetize our lives or else we're not going to be able to get ahead. And it feels like now, even if we are able to get ahead, there's another inconvenience like your check engine light coming on, or your car breaking down, or an unexpected medical bill. It really feels like we got the short end of the stick. There's an increase in people out here that are making the most money that they've ever made in their lives, yet they're the brokest that they've ever been. There are some couples out here, both parties, having to work 2 jobs, and they're just barely scraping by. There's no time anymore to enjoy this beautiful earth that we're on. It feels like we're not making any memories. It feels like we're just work, 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 and working anymore. We live in a day and age where you constantly have to watch your own back. The crime rates are increasing. People are going crazier and crazier. And that's a result of a society that's been pushed way too far. We're in dire need of a revolution. I'm still wondering what the breaking point for Americans is going to be. We need justice. We need to get out of this system in any way that we can because it's not working for any of us anymore. And it's a literal hellscape. There's more people waking up to reality and realizing that we've been lied to ever since we were in school, and we realize that we're all slaves in the system. A lot of us are out here trying to dig and break our chains, and there's a lot of days where it feels like it's inescapable. I'm trying to do what I can to make a better life for myself, and I have a lot of days where it feels like there's no justice, there's no way out of this, but I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm still trying to fight my way so that way I can have a better future, a better tomorrow. It's insane how you look around and there's some people out here that don't see anything wrong with the way that we live. I don't understand how people can just do this for 45 years and they're just like whatever about it. I personally can't settle for this. There has to be another way to live life, and it's insane how people believe that this is the only way to live. If we were living the way humans were actually meant to live, frolicking out in nature, living a slower paced life, foraging for our own food, loving each other, living in communities, life might feel a lot shorter than what it actually is. But since we dread going to work so much, since we dread paying our bills, since we're not really enjoying our time here in any way, shape, or form, it makes life feel so much longer than what it actually is. There's a lot of times here lately where I feel like this shit is inescapable and there's not really a way out of it. And a lot of the time, this realm feels like a punishment. Like we're all here because we did something really bad in our past lives, but nobody will tell us what we did, and it just feels like a never-ending punishment almost. Our own government is literally ran by Satan, and they've been making life hell for a lot of people. They get richer while the rest of us get poorer. They have an obscene amount of money, an obscene amount of wealth. They could use their power to help the people who are struggling, yet they choose to use their money in all the wrong ways. People are out here, can't pay their bills anymore. People are struggling to afford food. You go into the store, you buy like 4 or 5 items, and it's like you're spending like $70. There's more people out here that are having to get on food stamps. People are having to go to the food banks. It's really shitty and it's really fucked up the way that all of us are getting done right now. Like all of us are collectively getting fucked over, and I wonder what it's going to take for all of us to win this country back and demand better, because we've been putting up with their shit for far too long. Alright guys, it is starting to get a little bit dark out, so I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap the video up right about here. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, drop a comment, go ahead and subscribe. I'm always down for new subscribers, especially since I'm just starting out on YouTube and I'm trying to grow the page. As long as I'm up for it, I think I'm going to go ahead and aim to do like 2 to 3 new videos a week. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and until the next one, peace out.